Hey there guys, it's Jesse, and today I'm going to give you the answers to all of the Rift questions you've been asking me in one fell swoop of a video, and hopefully show you all the things you've been asking for and wanting to see without dragging it on and on and on, and just compile it all into one video. Cool? So let's get into the questions and let's do this thing. The first question that's asked to me all the time is, how early do you see the rifts? When you first enter the lobby zone of Free March as a Defiant, you see them pretty much right away. I mean, there's one that spawns, at least for me in the beta, it spawned 50 feet outside of the very starting base you begin at, which, you know, you're just running around and suddenly, boom, it pops open in front of you. Luckily, it's very slow spawn rate, and the guys there aren't too hard, and they despawn after a certain period of time, so you're not immediately overrun and given no chance to live. You can just avoid it and go around it. But usually, people converged on that thing like crazy out of nowhere. So, you know what? People want to play, people want to do those things. So I would expect it not to be an issue as you start to get high level, and there are a few people starting out. The next question is, how big does the Rift system get? Well, one day I was running around in a town and just being stupid, turning in quests, I think, and suddenly there was like this big server message and the skies go dark and it was like, boom, massive Rift invasion everywhere. Just the entire overworld was just covered in rifts. And so I joined a raid, and we went about kicking the crap out of as many death plane bosses and rifts as we could find. And they're like these death tumor things that pop up out of the ground that you have to kill, and there's roaming legions of mobs, just like 50 guys at a time just walking through the zone. And so you need your raid to join and fight them. And so I definitely can say, this being the lobby zone, like the very first zone you start in, that seeing that there was really amazing. And I was like, oh, lobies unite! And we all got together and it was a blast. It was really fun. I had a great time doing that. The next question's about the planes. You see a lot of death plane stuff, but aren't there others? There are several others, but unfortunately for my recording purposes, since I'm in Free March, there's only two types here, death and water. Water is very cool, and as you can see here, you know, the ground becomes all like underwatery looking, and the monsters that pop out of it reflect that underwater feel. Cool note though, that for being at this rift when I was and getting the most damage done to all the different mobs that came out of this rift, I got like a bunch of rewards, and one of them turns me into a underwater fiend guy, so I had some fun with that. I gotta be honest, there's nothing like getting a pointless trinket just for the purpose of enjoyment in a game. What about UI modifications? Well, this is a big question, and I'm usually not a person to be able to tell you a lot about UI mods. I find a lot of them annoying because I want to keep it as simple as possible, but with this game, you can literally go in to a menu that allows you to change where everything is at, the shape of everything, how it looks, the size, that you can remove stuff, you can delete it. Check it out, take a look, you can see me goofing around a bit, and it will edit where stuff is on your screen. So while I don't know if they support third-party things, I do know that you can actually go in and edit it for your own personal use. So that's kind of cool. The next question is there a swimming or jumping mechanic? I get asked this question a ton, and I guess this means I just have never jumped in a video, which sort of blows my mind that I would never have just been like, spacebar, spacebar. I don't know why. I do that all the time. I just jump for no reason. So I guess I'm too busy trying to find stuff for you guys to see, and I keep forgetting to jump. But yes, you can jump, and you can even swim, and there's a ton of underwater missions. And the underwater kind of makes me laugh because the sound when you're above and below water changes. Here, listen to this. PvP. Oh my, yes, there is PvP. There's a lot of different battlegrounds and things you can do. The one that I tried out to show you guys the PvP is where you have to control a piece of the Death Realm. So it's Guardians versus the Defiant, and you have to control this like shard of the Death Realm. It's essentially capture the flag, except there's no place to take the flag. It's whoever holds it longest gets the most points, right? The trick is that the longer you personally hold the Death Shard, the more damage it does to you because it's a death shard. So you need to hold on to it, then trade it off to someone else on your team. Unfortunately, I could not figure out how to trade it, and I couldn't figure out how to drop it, so I would just hold it until I died, and then someone else would pick it up. But I will say my rogue abilities rocked this place. It was awesome. I actually did really good at PvP. Who knew? Are there any dungeons? Yeah, there are dungeons. If you've seen my dungeon videos, you know there are. If you haven't, click the link on your screen presently. Are there any dances? Yes, there are dances. And as you can see from my F here, I don't know what dance this is, but it looks like Elaine from Seinfeld. And finally, are there any cities? Oh yes, there are. The first Defiant city you come to is huge. It took me like 3 hours to find out where everything was and do all the quests just in the city alone. There's tons of stuff to do and explore, and the quests that are introduced to you don't just have you run around the city. What they do is they teach you how to play aspects of the game properly. Not like, oh, here's a quest, go craft this, or go learn to do this, and then you have to go look it up online. The starting quests in this town teach you how to do the stuff you need in order to successfully do them later. That is brilliant, because there's nothing like teaching a noob to do stuff rather than just saying like, go over to that corner and talk to the guy. I mean, they actually teach you how to do the different crafting or the different styles of PvP or what to do. I'm impressed by that. The other thing that blew me away was, besides the lore and the PvP and the different things that you can do in the castle, you can actually do quests to learn new souls, which means you can collect every type of soul your class has access to. So if you made a mistake off the bat and you think that being a crazy bard, marksman, rift stalker wasn't the way to go, you can go on quests to destroy rifts, to collect other souls, to go and change whenever you feel like now your spec and become whatever you want. Plus, there are PvP souls. So now you can go in and learn a PvP style soul, which is all bonuses to fighting other players. So those decisions I was making earlier in my playthrough videos that took me like 20 minutes, now will take even longer. Anyway guys, that's it. Hopefully the majority of your questions have been answered. If not, I will try my best to answer them in the future. Thank you as always. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, to be continued.